Hey everybody, welcome to Cineprov presents Molly Grows Up. I am Larry Johnson, and tonight I am joined by...
Don?
And John.
Oh, I see Fred Barker is on the menu tonight.
Multi-chrome lab. That's my favorite kind of dog.
W.M. Mitchell, D.C. Harrington, E.M. Marsh, D.M. Hatfield. They consulted the hell out of this thing, didn't they?
Donald M. Hatfield, followed by F.U. McCoy.
Lawrence, not Lawrence, not Lawrence, Lawrence.
People came. I don't think the church could have held anymore. The whole church was lighted with candles. The first wedding I've ever been to. And golly, you should have seen the bride. She had
Take a breath, Dorothy.
The most beautiful dress I've ever seen. It was all white satin.
Oh, thank God
Come on,
we're saved.
late for school. Coming, Peggy.
Who is that girl?
Bye.
My goodness, Molly is certainly growing
Look
up.
at that sweet ass.
Anytown, USA.
Hi, Miss Jensen.
Those
Good morning,
ventriloquist
girls.
lessons are really going
How's your
well.
throat this morning, Molly?
Oh, just fine. It doesn't hurt
How's your
at all
ass this morning,
anymore.
Miss
Well, you better
Jensen?
stop by my office and let me take a look at it. It won't take a minute.
Okay.
Molly, have you ever heard of a casting couch?
Okay, Molly, let's take a look.
Do I have to take my pants off?
Don't you mean, do you get to take your
Oh,
pants
yes.
off?
Oh, that's clearing up just fine.
That's a good girl. Very
What's the
good
game
girl.
tonight?
Oh, sure.
Will you please let someone else do the cheering for you? Because that throat is still slightly inflamed.
Okay, I'll be careful.
Oh, by the way, Molly, your mother left her gloves over at my house last night.
And she left her
You
bra
take
in
them
my
to her?
car.
Sure, she's always leaving them someplace. See you later.
Okay.
Hate to see her go, but I like to watch her leave.
Hey, lady.
You know,
She
I've
can
known
see
Molly
us.
and her family ever since she first came to school. And I think you might like to know her, too.
Nope, we're good.
Molly lives at home with her father,
Cooter.
her mother,
Your stranger resembles an alien.
and her older sister, Jean.
Yay, my answers to the $64,000 questioner here.
Jeannie and Molly each have their own rooms. But lately, it seems that Molly is more interested in Jeannie's room than her own. Molly and Jeannie get along, well, about as most sisters do.
Bitch,
Molly!
please.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm getting ready for my
Nothing,
date
Jeannie.
with
I just
R.
have to
Kelly.
Come in and...
Honestly, Molly, how many times have I asked you to leave my things alone?
Well, all I was doing was just...
And you didn't get all the lipstick off either.
Industry standard for the ladies in this house.
Oh, I wasn't going to hurt your old things. I just wanted to try them.
Is she drunk?
Well, why don't you ask Mom for some things of your own? You're old enough now.
Here's my vibrator.
Holy cow, what is that, a shin guard?
Jeannie, when do you think I'll start having periods, too?
Maybe after you
I
stop
don't
snooping.
know. Pretty soon, I suppose. I was 13 when I started.
Well, Peggy's already started hers, and I'm 6 months older than she is.
Well, so what? Some start earlier and some later. We're all different.
Except the
Look at the way you've
Kardashians.
been acting lately. Shouldn't be long now.
Because you've been a bitch all week.
One day, not long after that, Molly came home from school.
Pouring blood.
Guess where I am
That you,
since I'm a
Molly?
1950s housewife.
Hi, what kind of a day did you have today?
Mom, guess what?
I don't know.
I'm bleeding out
Mom,
my
I started
coos.
my first period.
You tramp!
Well, what do you know? Come on, sit down.
I guess
Tell
cookies
me
can
about
wait.
it. When did it start?
Well, it was this afternoon when
Oh,
I was
God,
changing
no.
into my gym clothes, and I noticed a bit of blood on my panties, and
Please, no.
golly, at
No.
first I thought, well, I didn't know what to
No,
think.
no more.
And then I remembered when we talked about
The Munsters?
Menstruation.
menstruation and stuff, and, well, then I went to see Miss Jensen.
Oh, my goodness. How do you feel?
Like blaming men for everything.
Kind of funny like. I was hoping it would start soon. But it seems like I've forgotten everything you've told me.
All right, I tell you what we'll do.
We'll sell you into child
Mother
slavery.
and daughter conference night. And if you'll give me a hand with supper, we'll get started that much earlier.
Okay, I'll wash up and be right down.
Thank God.
Hate to see her go, but I love to watch her leave.
Golly. And it won't be long at all before you're quite used to it. You see, honey, menstruation is perfectly normal. It happens every month.
For 30 days.
Sit up, dear.
But
I said,
why-
sit up, dear.
Oh, it's just part of being a woman, I guess.
Like shopping and
Of
nagging.
course, right at first, you probably won't be very regular. Most
Well, let's
girls
get you
don't
some
settle
more
down
bran
for
in your
a
diet.
year or so. Even then, some girls go more than a month between periods and others less.
Whores.
That's normal, too. And eventually your body will
Close
set
your
up
legs,
its own
princess.
regular time. Please sit up, Molly.
Oh, Mom, I'm comfortable.
Well, if you sit and stand straight, that'll
Is she
give the organs
hemming a
inside your body
stay-free
room to
maxi
function
pad?
better. And that'll make you feel better.
I'll get it. That's probably Peggy.
I recognize her ring.
Hello? Oh, hi, Peggy. Sure, just a minute, I'll ask. Mom, can I go swimming with Peggy tomorrow after school?
I don't think I would, Molly.
But I'd be home by 5:30.
No, it's not a good idea the first 2 or 3 days
It
of
may
your period.
attract
You
sharks
might
and
get
lonely
killed and catch
sailors.
cold.
Oh, that's right. Peggy, of course I can't go swimming. You know I've got the curse.
That old gypsy woman gave it to me.
That's right. It isn't a good idea the first couple of days. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
My little
Bye.
bleeder.
Good heavens, Molly, you're growing like a weed.
A
I'm going to have to let
stinkweed.
that hem down again. Come on, I'll do it right now.
Okay.
Come here, dear. Stand on this maxi pad.
You know, I've often wondered why it is that some women still call menstruation the curse.
It's probably
I
because it
don't
feels
know.
like your insides are
Peggy
trying to
calls
eat
it that.
themselves.
And it is kind of a nuisance, isn't it?
I suppose it is sometimes. Just that it sounded sort of old-fashioned.
Another nice
these
night.
days.
Hey, someone down here menstruating?
What are you two up to?
Ooh, may we speak,
How was the
Master?
fight, Jim?
No, not bad. Something wrong with our aerial, though. We ought to be getting a better picture than that.
But I guess it's 1938,
Well,
so to get
talk
any
about
picture
it.
at all is a miracle.
Is this a private conference?
No, I don't think so. Do you, Molly?
No, I guess not. You tell him, Mom.
Do I smell blood?
Well, Jim, Molly's growing up. She's having her first menstrual period.
Yeah, that's great. I'm off to the bar.
Already? Oh, but Alice, I thought... Well, I mean, after all, she's
oh,
only...
Daddy, don't be so silly. I'm not a baby anymore.
I know, dear, but,
Now it's time for Daddy to teach you a few things.
No, honey, I guess you are.
And the Oscar for creepiest performance goes to...
Growing up is
Nature's
fun,
own panty liner.
but some of the things Molly used to do seem a little silly now.
See the fun?
Sometimes she gets all mixed up just thinking about it. She's changing from a child into an adult.
Next stop, Werewolf
and it's a
Town.
little confusing at times.
Lucky all these girls are on the same cycle.
Molly had lots of questions about what was happening to her. It so happened I had a chance to answer some of them. Her teacher was sick one day and asked me to take her class.
I didn't give a shit that it was supposed to be
And
economics.
this is true of women everywhere. So you see, menstruation is
What
just
is that,
a
a kneecap
natural,
behind her?
normal process leading up to being a mother.
This is my
a
prototype for a
diagram
cult
of the
leader.
uterus or womb.
It's really nice.
And these are the fallopian tubes leading to it. And these the ovaries which produce the egg cells.
Boom, you
Now,
see?
these egg cells are
You got
far
the
too
running
small for
back
us to
here,
see.
and he's got to
But
get
once
by the
each month,
ovaries and run
an
through
egg
the
cell will leave
bam.
one of the ovaries,
Brett
go
Favre.
into the opening of the tube nearest to it. And then it's on its way to the uterus.
The wacky racers
Now,
jockey
at
for
the same
position.
time, the uterus has been preparing a growing place for this egg,
Filling it with Puffs
a
Plus
soft
with
lining
lotion.
of blood vessels and tissues.
Ah, comfy.
Brett
If the egg
Favre.
unites with a male cell or sperm as it's on its way down the tube, it is fertilized. And then when it reaches the uterus, it settles down in this soft lining and begins to grow into a baby.
Huzzah!
But if the egg cell is not fertilized, it disappears.
And God cries.
And then Since the lining is no longer needed, it too dissolves away. And it flows out of the body through an opening in the hymen, which is a membrane over the opening of the vagina. And
Any
so we
questions,
say that
dumbasses?
we are menstruating. Yes, Barbara.
Miss Jensen, when does menstruation start?
Tuesdays
Well,
at
some girls
noon.
start when they're 10 years old, and some when they're 16 or 17, or anywhere in between. But the average age seems to be about 13.
No, I mean what day of the week will it start?
And the
My
Oscar
mother
for
starts
stupidest
on
girl in
Tuesday. Will
a
mine
film
too?
goes to...
Oh, it might, but it probably won't, because each girl's body sets up her own time and rhythm. And the time between periods may vary anywhere from 23 to 32 days. And the flow lasts from 2 to 7 days, also depending on the girl's own rhythm.
Miss Jensen, how
What if I
often
don't
should you
have
change
rhythm,
napkins
being white
when
and all?
menstruating?
Well, that depends on the amount
First,
of
you
flow.
don't use dinner
They're probably
napkins.
5 or 6 times a day. And that brings up another point. Many of you girls haven't started to menstruate yet, but when you do, you will want to use a sanitary napkin to absorb the flow.
You want to put
It's
this on
a
your
soft,
head.
absorbent pad, and it's made to fit over the opening of the
In
vagina.
the case of a
and to
water
follow the
landing,
curve
it
of
can
the
be
body.
used as a flotation device.
The tab ends are attached to a narrow elastic
Please
belt,
secure your own
which you
tab
can wear
before
around your
assisting
hips or
others.
waist. Now, some girls prefer to use tampons. A tampon is a cylinder of absorbent cotton inside a cardboard applicator. It is inserted into the vagina by means of the applicator.
Yeah, it is.
Lucky.
The cotton absorbs the flow, and when it is full, you remove it and discard it.
Fling it at the cat.
Yes, Molly?
Miss Jensen, is it true that people can tell when you're menstruating?
Just dogs,
No,
bears,
it
and
isn't.
Mexicans.
But you should be more careful than ever about personal cleanliness and dainties. Change your underwear more often, and be sure and use a deodorant.
Who
And
wears
pay
underwear?
more attention to your hair and your nails, and plan to wear your prettiest dress.
Since
In
you're
other
a
words,
mess
be your most
underneath.
attractive self. And remember, menstruation is only a part of growing up. As you grow, your body changes from that of a young girl to that of a woman. It's becoming round with the beginnings of a bosom and the start of a real waistline and hips.
And these hips
And
don't
hair
lie,
is beginning
ladies.
to grow in different places. Pubic hair
Shave
and
that cat,
underarm
ladies.
hair. Yes, Anne?
Miss Jensen, what about dancing? Can you when you're menstruating?
Only
Yes,
horizontally.
you can, with moderation. In fact, you can do most of the things you usually do.
You can dance when you want
bathe
to.
or
You
shower
can leave
as
your
long as
friends
you use warm
behind.
water. And you can wash your hair if you're sure to dry it quickly. And you can swim if you wait until after 2 or 3 days after the beginning of
And
your
if you're
period.
not afraid of sharks.
And you can go to dances and picnics. But it's not a very good idea to skate
No, certainly not.
or ride horseback or play
Pilates.
fast games like volleyball and basketball or do strenuous dancing like square dancing or anything that bounces you around a lot. In general, mild exercises are best. Ones that strengthen
excuse
your
me.
abdominal muscles are particularly good. It's sensible to avoid strenuous exercise when you're menstruating. And you be sure and tell your mother or me if everything doesn't seem to be just right.
That ends my
Now, I'd
fallopian
like each of you to
timeshares
take one of these
presentation.
booklets about menstruation, and when you finish reading it, if you have any questions,
You
be
can
sure
use
and
it to
come and
gross
see me.
out your brother.
And remember, menstruation is as normal and natural as eating or breathing or sleeping.
It's messier, though.
Soon, Molly will be a young woman like her Jeannie,
Tarted
having
up and
dates.
ready to rock.
going to dances and lovely
But not
romantic
square
dresses,
dances.
No, certainly not square.
and making
dances.
new and
No,
important
God, no,
friends.
It's crazy.
Those are off limits.
There are so many wonderful things to look forward to.
So many terrible things to look forward to.
And you were there, and you, and you.
Growing up,
It's a bitch.
it's an exciting time.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Molly Grows Up. Thanks for joining myself.
And Don.
Bye.
Join us, visit us at Cineprov.com.